Hi everyone, and thanks for joining me today. My name is Katerina, and I'm going to present one customer contact center in the cloud named Amazon Connect. Several years ago, started something that we know as digital transformation, and fastly become a corporate buzzword. But I think that the real digital transformation started several months ago after we were hit by COVID-19. So many companies are trying to digitalize their services in order to proceed with their business in the online, to proceed with their business online. So digital transformation is about adapting to emerging technology in a way that best meets our organization's goals. So how does this relate to a call center or a customer contact center? Although contact centers are made better by skilled agents, they're still extremely technology dependent. The agent and the technology need to work in sync to provide the best customer experience and take the business to the next level. So both parts of this equation are critical. A bad customer service agent will negatively impact the business, but poor technology can cause just as much harm. Therefore, it's so important to adapt to upcoming trends in the industry and utilize new technology. When we talk about customer contact centers, all roads lead to customer experience. Contact centers must engage with digital transformation and learn to adapt. So here I want to point several trends for 2020. At first place comes artificial intelligence and machine learning. 83% of businesses say that artificial intelligence is a strategic priority for them. And 54% of executives say that that artificial intelligence solutions have already increased productivity. So customer contact centers are not exception. They're the direct link to customers and a forward-facing representation of each organization. Nowadays, customer contact centers are not here only to deal with not satisfied customers or customers that have problems with some services. They're here to support the customer, to learn more about customer behavior, and to connect with them on a deeper level. Customer experience approach must be proactive and ultimately about making a customer feel good. So artificial intelligence plays a considerable role in shaping the customer experience. Combined with machine learning, we can have a customer portfolio based on the aggregated data for that customer. Another trend for 2020 is the omni-channel support for the contact centers. Today, many of the customers are contacting the center using their phones, chat, voice, and each customer contact center must support these channels. But in the same time, the customer must keep the feeling that he's talking with the same agent and with the same company. So moving between chat and voice should be seamlessly and effortlessly for each customer. Knowing that there are many cloud-based platforms out there today, why not the customer contact center be solution on the cloud? When we make a solution on cloud, that means that we can use out of the box many features that are available there. Traditionally, IVR systems are difficult to install and expensive to license, with capacity-based pricing the norm. Not to mention security, scalability, fault tolerance, aspects that you need to manage in in-house solution. So cloud-based approach is not only for the product itself, but for the side aspects that you can use out of the box in the cloud. When we have the data today and the ways how to collect the data, we should make it alive. So using analytics, we can see what the data means. So call centers are becoming increasingly reliant on analytical tools to shape their business goals. We need robust analytical tools that can identify the patterns in the data. In addition, with real-time analysis, agent can set the pace and approach to customer in real time. And the last thing I want to mention here in the trends is recall technology. Just a short introduction. Recall approach or recall technology is used by the companies when they make an unpredictable mistake or unintentional mistake. So you remember the Samsung Galaxy Note 7 problems with the batteries. Many customers reported that they have problems with the batteries. So Samsung withdraw the mobile phones from the market and make a public apology about that mistake. So this type of recall technology is used also in the customer contact centers because at the end they're working people, so people making mistakes. Brands are implementing this technology in call centers to screen inaccurate or unwanted communications. With recall technology, it's easy for call centers agents to stop erroneous messages from reaching the consumers. Besides, when a mistake slips through the conversation, it's quickly noticed and resolved promptly. Now, knowing the trends, knowing the importance of digital transformation, I want to introduce Amazon Connect and Customer Contact Center in the cloud. Amazon Connect is integrated part of AWS services, and he's a cloud powered. So that means that it's designed to be robust, scalable, and highly available. Talking with the language of AWS services means that when you run one instance of Amazon Connect, it runs in multiple AWS availability zones. Another key feature that I want to talk for Amazon Connect is that it's a flexible solution because it was designed to be set up and run by business decision makers. In the demo, you will see the dashboard and how intuitive it is to use. It's a flexible solution because contact flow editor that powers Amazon Connect includes blocks for iteration, integration, control flow, branching, and more. So call flows can include a mixture of pre-recorded audio prompts, generated audio, Lex-powered iteration, integration with existing systems and databases, conversations with agents, call transfers, and much more. And it's an economical solution because it uses pay-as-you-go model, so which keeps operating costs in line with actual usage. On the side of the agent, Amazon Connect includes a soft phone that supports high-quality audio, so you do not have extra expenses here. Now, let's jump to interesting part and see how we can create one customer center in the cloud and make a first call. I will jump to the Amazon console. Okay, and I will choose Amazon Connect. Here you will see one already running instance. That's because at the end, I want to show you one customer flow, which is more complex and empowers several other AWS services, which takes time to create, and I cannot create them during the demo. But yes, we will go through and see the possibilities there. What I want to do now is to create one new instance. Just to mention here that several months ago, Contact Center was available only in North Virginia, but now it's available in several regions around the globe. I will click Add Instance. And here, in this configuration, we can choose where to store users. So one simple option is to store users or agents that will use the Contact Center in Amazon Connect. You can use your link to the existing directory, or maybe federated single sign-on to configure, but I will go with the simple option now. Just store the users with Amazon Connect. Next, I need to choose for the name for the custom URL here. This URL will be accessed by administrator and also by other agents, which will be the users of a customer call center. I will name it like webinar contact center and click next. Here I will Sorry. There's some technical problems. Let me just make a new share. Just a second. Okay, it's okay now. Sorry, I will just go back one step. I was talking about the regions here, the already running instance, and I will create a new instance now. Okay, here was the screen that I was talking about, where to place users. Amazon Connect, link to existing directory, or using a federated single sign-on configuration. I'll go with simple one. Here I enter the name of the URL. Okay, webinar cloud contact center. On the next step, I will create the administrator. That will be the first user that will log in into the customer contact center. Password. Repeat. Okay. Some email. Okay. Right. Okay. Next step. Here, I can configure the telephony options. I will leave the default, meaning that I will receive the incoming calls and also make the outbound calls from the contact center. Here's some information about the data storage. These two are locations on the S3. So these are two buckets where I will play that the Amazon Connect will place the data from the chats and voice, and also contact flow logs that they will be encrypted. Now, if we review everything and create the instance. So as you can see here, we have a call recording S3 location. It's encrypted. Also the chat transcript also is encrypted, and logs. Let's take a moment. In the background is created the instance, and now the URL will be available for us. For now, we have just one user, which is the admin. Okay. Here is the URL that I can access. It says 15 minutes, but it's already available. I'll navigate there. And let's log in as the administrator. Great. Now we have the dashboard from our Amazon Connect contact center. There are several steps here and options that are available for us. We will go through them. But first, let's register one phone number where we can receive the calls. Okay, I will allow to make calls. Now I will select a country, for example, United States. Several countries are available here. I can select two types of phone, direct dial or toll-free number. I will choose the toll-free number because I want expenses to go on the site of Amazon Connect, not on the site of the customer that is calling. And I will choose some phone number here, for example, this one. On the next screen, there is an option to call this number and call the call center. But I will just skip this for now because what we will hear if we call this number is just a default welcome message for the contact center. What we are going to do during this demo is a custom flow for the customer, and which will be more interesting than just the welcome message. And I will just skip this for now. Also, we can configure the chat from here. This is just the test chat. And you will see here, we have the client side and the agent side. Chat from the Amazon Connect can be integrated in your custom chat, chat or custom site, but also on Twilio, Slack, Facebook Messenger. It's simple. Okay, I will activate on the agent side. just to have a feeling how it looks like hi. And the agent will receive this message. Okay, I can accept the incoming chat. How can I help you? Okay, you get the feeling how it's the communication. Okay, and the chat here. So now that we have the phone number, we see the options for the chat. There is also options to set hours of operations, meaning that you have different agents. So each agent can be related to the different hours of operations. And also you can define different flows, for example, for priority users, which need 24/7 support, and for basic users, regular users that need to be supported only during the working hours. So here you can set those options. I'll just open to see the basic hours that are already configured here, but that's it. Next are queues. Means that every customer that is calling the contact center is placed in the queue and is waiting for the agent or for other flows to take the call from there and proceed further. So here we can define different queues and place different users. I will just review the basic queue. You see, you have the name, description. You can assign hours for this queue. Define what will be the name. For example, if you are calling, you are making outbound call from the contact center, what will be the name that will be shown on the customer phone, and so on. Here you can define different queues for different types of users. Step 4 are for prompts. They're just melody that is going in the background while you're waiting in the queue, or maybe the agent put you on hold, or when you call the center and the background welcome music that is going. You can use the default ones here, upload your own, create your own, and so on. Step 5 for create contact flows is the integral part of the Amazon Connect. I will jump back, but before, let's see the create route profiles and configure users, and then I will jump back here and create our first contact flow. Routing profiles, this means the ways that agents handle the calls. So for now, we have a basic routing profile, meaning that this profile have one basic queue. If we have another queue, we can add it here and then define the priority, meaning that the calls placed in different queues will have different priority. You can define different ones based on the business requirements. And the last one are configuration of users. For now, we have just one user, the administrator, but you can create new one, like create new users. You can upload or create new one. You see here, you can have the details like routing profiles, select different routing profiles, phones, and so on. Let's jump to the dashboard and create our first contact flow. From the Amazon Connect, here we have some default flows, which are good for learning purposes and like guidelines how to create your first contact flow. So if you're interested in learning Amazon Connect, I recommend use review and see how this contact flow works. But now I'll create a new one. Okay, so this is the main dashboard that we are going to use for creating of a flow. Here we have different ways for interaction with the customer. So we can play a prompt when he calls, making a request to make a customer input. We can set different queues, making a branching in the call, integrate with other systems like a Lambda function, with other services like a Lambda function or terminate transfer the call. So what is the scenario that we want to implement here? When a customer calls our center, first we want to place some prompt like welcome to our contact center, then request to make input and a choice, for example, 1 to check his account balance or 2 to talk with an agent. If he check once, one, then we are telling the account balance. If he choose 2, then we transfer to the agent. Let's do that. First, I will play one prompt. So you can select from the already existing prompts here that we saw, but also you can type a text like welcome to Interworks call center. After we welcome the user, we want to make a choice. So here we can just type like press 1 for account balance or press 2 to talk to an agent. And here I need to define the input options 1 and 2. This is the default one that I'm creating now, but here, as you can see, we can integrate this with Amazon Lex. I will show that in other sample. And now, if the customer press 1, we will just tell him your balance is $20 maybe. This is just the basic one. What we can do here is connect with a Lambda function that will make a query to the database or to other external systems and retrieve the information about the account balance. But let's keep it simple. In case that the user press 2, he wants to talk to an agent. So first we need to place him in a queue. Set the working queue. For now we have just one, so I will choose the basic queue. And then transfer to the agent. This is the transfer. And hang up, connect with the agent and hang up the flow here. Terminate the flow here. I will terminate the flow also for this one. In case when there is an error or other paths of our flow, I will just play and prompt like, sorry, no agents are available at the moment. I need to terminate all the connections here. So I will just link this. Okay, it's error. Let's go here. And this one. And then just terminate. I think I've linked everything. It will tell me. Let's name it our first flow, for example. Save. And publish it. You see there is a notification here that publishing a contact flow makes it active, and this may impact your live traffic because you're changing the flow. So, oops, sorry, this one. Okay, that's it. Now that we have the flow, let's connect that with the number. This is our number. You can add several numbers for your call center. And from the contact flow related to this phone number, I will choose our flow. And that's it. Now you can make a call to this contact center and you will be directed to the contact flow that we've already created. This is just the basic one, the simple one. What I want to show you here is a little bit more complex or interesting, more interesting. Let's navigate back to the Amazon Connect. And I will go to my instance here. This is the URL. Okay. Login. Okay, let's see what I've created here. So what is the business flow here? When the customer calls our call center, we display a welcome message, and then I have a Lambda function that goes to the database, and based on the phone number of the customer, finds out if that customer is using a priority plan or a basic plan. If he's using a priority plan of a contact center, then we are redirecting that customer to talk with the agent directly. In case when the customer is not priority, he's using a basic plan, then we are prompting him with several actions that he can do by himself in the contact center. For example, check account balance, check what was the last pay that he made, maybe change the reception of paper bills, maybe change the plan, and so on. What is the target here? What we want to do and what usually the contact centers want to make is to serve the customer without he reach to the agent. So as much as possible options to provide to the customer to do during the call before he makes a call to the agent. And here for this flow, I'm using the Lambda function and also a Lexbot. Let's see just how that's made. So here is the entry point. I play a prompt like, thank you for calling our center. Here is the Lambda function. You see the integration here. And it takes the number of the customer that is calling. And from the database, it decides if this customer is a rock star or not. If he's a rock star, then we are playing a message which is more custom, like the full name of a customer, maybe the address and some information that is related to the customer. And then we transfer to the Rockstar flow. In case when we have a customer that is not a Rockstar, then we go to other flow where there are several options for the customer. Let's navigate to that flow. What we have here, so if customer is not a Rockstar customer, then I've made the integration with the Amazon Lex, with the Lexbot. This is the Lexbot, and inside the Lexbot, I have several intents, the ways that the options that I'm providing to the customer, like change the way he's paying the paper bills, maybe the account balance, and at the end, talk with the agent. Here you can define as many as you want, depend on your business use case. And then I proceed further. If he chooses a paper bill or account balance, the Lexbot is handling that. If he wants to talk to an agent, I just place him in the queue and connect with the agent. To making a calls to this contact center, because it is located in US and I'm located in Macedonia, I'm using a Viber out and I make free calls. I've tried to use a speaker and just to show you what is the interaction with the contact center, but it was with low quality and I just recorded it. Just a second, I want to show you.
Thank you for calling the Works Call Center. To change reception of paper bills, press or say 1. To check your account balance, press or say 2. To speak to an agent, press or say 3. 2. Using your touchtone keypad, please enter your account number.
Yes, I'm asking here for a customer to enter an account number.
The balance for the account is $2,586.34. Thank you for calling.
If you notice here, I'm saying press or say one, press or say two. That possibility is provided by Alexbot. It's a speech recognition, so I can use a voice in the interaction. Here, just to mention that when we are integrating our custom flow to external systems, there are two possibilities for the CRMs, integration with Salesforce and also with Zendesk. So those are current options, but probably in the future they will provide more. I'll let Jen jump back to the presentation. I think what is interesting here, it's supported by the free tier of AWS, meaning that you can play around and use a solution of Amazon Connect free over 1 year. And on a monthly basis, you're getting 30 minutes for inbound, outbound calls, 500 messages, 90 messages of contact center usage, and so on. So it's basically it's free for entire year. Sorry. And I just want to show you one customer testimonials. So Amazon Connect is used by many customers around the world. So the National Health Service in UK have implemented this for their call centers. And what they achieve is that in the first 4 weeks, they received like over 10,000 calls. And 42% of those calls were resolved by Amazon Connect system and did not been passed to the agents. So they had over 26% reduction in contact center traffic. Also, Dow Jones implement this Amazon Connect for their call center. And what is interesting is that they deployed the solution just in 3 weeks, not instead of months, with the regular IVR systems. And the upcoming modifications that they wanted to make were made just were configured instantly instead of like making a request change, a requirement change, and go over several days or weeks. I think it was interesting. I've covered the basics of Amazon Connect, and I hope you have several questions and open a discussion. Yeah, the first question is, does the COVID-19 crisis have impact on contact centers? And do they manage to serve all call centers requests? Yes, I do not have numbers, but I know that several of our clients that have this problem because mainly their business was focused on stores, like physical stores around the globe. So when the stores were closed, they need to go on online sales, but also to support the customers and their needs over their call centers. So yes, several customers experienced the problems with their contact centers. And many of them, because they have a traditional IVR systems, it's hard to make a quick changes. Another one, let me just choose. Yeah, it says how the contact center prioritize customers. Well, based on how we will implement it. So, meaning, if we have more data about the customer, then we can build more powerful contact center. What that means, when a customer calls us, call our center, we can gather the information that we have for him. And based on that data, we can decide how to handle that call. So meaning that based on the information for that customer, we can decide if he's a priority, basic, what we should do in the contact flow for that customer. So it's based on the information that we have. Yes, I mentioned one question is about the cost of AWS. It uses pay-as-you-go model, meaning that you pay only what you use. So how many calls will you receive? How many outbound calls will you make? How many chat support you will make during the day? That's the transfer of the data is paid. But the call center itself, like the instance running there on AWS, it's free. Yeah, I have one interesting question here. What is the usual implementation time of one contact center in the cloud? Well, it depends on the business requirements. Like it may be just 1 week, but maybe will be 1 month. So it depends on what you want to use, with how many systems you will integrate the contact center and so on. It supports English. Lexbot, I think that have some language recognition for German, but I'm not so sure. I've played around with English, so it was not on my focus, but I will check, yeah, and I will type the answer, yeah. Yeah, another question is, can we design customer-specific journeys based upon different customer categories? Yes. So the answer is yes. You can have different queues and different routing policies. So that means that for different types of users can be placed in different queues and will be handled by different routing profiles. The volume of calls depends on how many sorry, the question is there a limit on the volume of calls that it handle at one time? Is the scaling is automatic? So it depends on how many queues you have, how many phone numbers you have, and how many agents you have registered on your call center. But for example, one queue and one agent, one call at a time. Other will be on hold. Were there any privacy issues raised for Amazon Connect? Well, as a cloud-based solution, yes, there will be data that will be stored on AWS, but will be encrypted in the buckets. There will be available only for the AWS account where this contact center is made. So depend on what systems do you integrate and what kind of data is stored there, how sensitive is that data, you should take care of that. But yeah, there are mechanisms on AWS side that can guarantee the security and persistence of the data for your users. Let me check if we have some questions from Facebook. Yeah. Slick solution. Amazon is doing a great job with the tool. What industry segments have used it so far? Can we see some benchmarks, like how did it impact customer satisfaction, customer experience, return good from commerce? Different industries. The testimonials that I've shown here were from the health industry and publishing, part of the dojo. Also can be used in the retail, and everywhere where there are traditional call centers. It can be a replacement for traditional call centers. Satisfaction based on the testimonials is great because we've seen significant numbers for reducing the amount of calls and time to implement new requirements in the contact center. Just a second to see. There is one question for the flow that I've created. So when, in the case of a chat channel, how do we decide if the caller is a rock star or not? There is no phone number in that case. Yes, we have a call number. If the customer is calling our call center, when we put the call in the contact flow, as a metadata in the payload that is coming to our Lambda function from the Amazon Connect, we have the phone number. Also, we have a location for that phone number from where the call is made. So we have several information there that if we found that information in our databases, then we can identify the caller. So there is a lot of information in the basic payload, but also we can enrich the payload from information from the database and use it in the flow, in the further flow. For example, if we go to the database and see that this is a rockstar, we can add different metadata like the name, the address, everything that we find into the database. We can add that as data in the further payload and use in other services. So let me check if we have other questions. No, I think I've answered everything. Let me just double check. Yes. So thank you for joining me today. It was my pleasure to talk about Amazon Connect. And I think this is the first webinar in the upcoming series in different AWS related topics. Thank you very much.